esteemed guests and colleagues, scholars, who will be giving their keynotes today, as well as all of the researchers that are here to share their ideas, their research, and hopefully this is the first of many conferences where we will be able to build some strong relationships and some networks and enjoy also the company of each other and the magnificent Malaysian hospitality that I'm sure we all are looking forward to. The Academy of Business and Social Sciences was founded by a group of Australian academics, and it's based on the belief that excellence in research and publication is the key to benefiting not only academics but also businesses, society, and all relevant stakeholders at local, national, regional and international levels. The Academy works with partners throughout the world, and we will be hearing shortly from one of those partners in the Journal of Developing Areas. And we wish to build networks between research and publication, between academics and society, between the government and the private sector, and across all diverse interest groups that make up the societies in which we live. We seek to organise international conferences, and we're looking to do that starting here in Malaysia, but we'll also be undertaking other conferences in the near future, which we'll talk a little bit about later, and also throughout these 2 days. And we also have a number of journals which are linked to this particular conference and the Academy, and we will be feeding some of these conference papers through into not only the Journal of Developing Areas, but also some of the other journals linked to the conference. Because we wish to promote and publish the ideas and the thoughts of researchers and academics so that we can get this out to the society, to the community, because they're important for business, they're important for our society, and they're important for our economies throughout the world. We are proud to be partnering with the Journal of Developing Areas, and under this partnership agreement between Tennessee State University and the Australian Academy of Business and Social Sciences, a number of the high-quality papers that are being presented at this conference will be selected and published in the form of special issues in the Journal of Developing Areas, which is very exciting. But this particular conference is titled Towards Research Excellence in Business and Social Sciences. So my question to you today is, what is research? What is it that we talk about when we say we're looking at excellence in research? Well, how do we define what it is that we do when we talk about research? And I'm sure each of us would have a different idea of what that might look like. Albert Einstein once said, if we knew what it was that we were actually doing, well then it wouldn't be called research, would it? And so some of what we do is actually about exploring the unknown, not sure where we're going, what we're trying to do, and what we're trying to see. Neil Armstrong said research is the creation of new knowledge, and that is certainly part of it. But I like the concept as expressed by the Hungarian scientist Albert Szent-Györgyi, who said that research is to see what everybody else has seen, but to think what nobody else has thought. And so I think what we do, especially in the social sciences, is that we do like to take that time to see what it is that is happening in our world, but then to try and think that in a different way, to come up with new ideas and new explanations for that. And it is these original thoughts that are at the heart of our research. They're the heart of research in academia, but they're also at the heart of creativity in the minds of individuals. Originally, I was trained as a musician and worked in the arts for many years, and so this notion of creative interpretation, to take something and to rethink it and reinterpret it and then to present it as something new, is very familiar to the sort of work that I do. And so this notion of creativity is different in each one of us. We all have aspects of creativity in our lives. And then when we apply that to potential problems, to things that we've seen, that is where the innovation and the new knowledge then emanates from that. And it's the application of our thoughts and ideas and our creative processes to real-world problems that we then generate that value for our societies. Innovation and creativity are becoming more important in both developed and developing countries and economies as nations strive to build a competitive advantage in the global market. Regional and national economies are moving away from manufacturing bases and are moving more to ones of knowledge generation, innovation and creativity. And at the start of the 21st century, the OECD predicted that economic success would not be reliant on the uniformity of mass production, but on a need to, and I quote from Kautsky, Miller and Stevens, to break with the rigid and hierarchical methods of the past and embrace solutions based on greater personal accountability, internal motivation and uniqueness. This notion of being able to look at something and come up with a different way of doing something, to interpret it in a different way, is at the heart of what nations are doing. And I think in research, we can lead the way in many of those aspects. And so this notion of the application of creativity or the novel idea lies at the heart of organisational innovation. And each one of us has a different way to think about that. And so one of my areas of research, and you'll hear a little bit more about this over the couple of days, and we put out some information. My colleagues and I, and some of them are here this weekend, have been doing a worldwide study to try and see how individuals perceive concepts of creativity and innovation, especially in different cultural settings. And I'm not talking about organisational culture. We're looking at things like ethnic culture or demographic culture. How does Generation Y and X see things differently to baby boomers? How do people from different sort of national or ethnic backgrounds perceive these ideas of innovation and creativity? So we formed something called the Project Impact Institute. And it's a global organisation with a focus on how culture impacts innovation in the organisational setting. We're a group of scholars and practitioners that have come together to understand the human element of innovation. And innovation emanates from human beings with a diversity of backgrounds that shapes how they view the world and therefore how they view these ideas of innovation. And so we sort of noted that it is a multifaceted construct. There are differences in the way people weight different aspects of innovation and creativity and idea generation. But there are three key interpretations of innovation. That of something that is new or novel or completely invented, something completely new. But that is only one aspect of creativity and innovation. Many see it as an improvement on a process, an improvement on a product, an addition, an adaptation. And the third one is where people actually take something from somewhere else completely and move it into a new domain. And so this adaptation of something that already exists, but reinterpreting it in a completely different format, using it in a different way. And I think more and more we move to interdisciplinary research, where we start to take frameworks and ideas from different aspects of research and apply them in new contexts. We actually gain then a better understanding of the way the world works. So we've undertaken a number of studies in North and South America, in Australia, and a number of countries in Asia as well. And we're continuing to undertake these surveys across different countries to try and build a picture of different cultural backgrounds and frameworks in which innovation can take place on a global scale. And so, as I said, there'll be some flyers around about that, and if you're interested in being involved in that aspect of our research, we'd love to talk to you about that. And it's about talking to each other, I think, that is the key to conferences like this. We will spend some time listening to presentations and things, but it is also about the networking and the discussion around those ideas that's important. So the idea of this meeting is to promote the dissemination of thoughts and ideas about things we have seen that affect business, societies and economies throughout the world. These new ideas, these interpretations of what is happening, or the applications and innovations that we can then generate from those observations that we make. We live today in a highly connected, integrated, but also highly competitive world. Our economies, social, environmental and cultural spheres all connect, intertwine, and sometimes even repel each other as we struggle to understand the impact we have on our societies, on our economies, but also on our planet. So meetings such as this today bring together scholars from around the world to a place where we can share ideas, demonstrate new initiatives, and test out our theories on each other. This conference here in Malaysia is the first gathering of researchers under the Academy banner, the Australian Academy of Business and Social Sciences. We welcome over 150 researchers from around the world, academics from over 30 countries, representing every continent, including North America, South America, Africa, Australia, Europe, the Middle East, the Pacific, and Asia. All have gathered here to share their latest research and ideas. You'll see that there are papers being presented covering all areas of business and management, as well as a number of other areas of social sciences. Papers will be discussing recent trends in economics, management, marketing, accounting, and finance, political science, sociology, education, and ICT. So in the pursuit of excellence in research, I hope you will all enjoy the interactions over the next 2 days. Whether these interactions occur in the formal presentation sessions or in the more informal social settings of lunch, dinner, and the coffee breaks, I encourage you all to take advantage of this time to meet new people, to make friends, develop new and lasting relationships, and also to build new collaborations in research for the future. In other words, I hope we all take this opportunity to continue to think new thoughts. Thank you very much. It's now my pleasure to invite our first guest speaker to the podium here, who's going to talk shortly about the relationship between the Academy and also the Journal of Developing Areas. So I would like to just quickly introduce Professor Abu Wahid, who is Professor of Economics at Tennessee State University. He became the editor of the Journal of Developing Areas in 2002. He has published 6 books as an author, editor, and co-editor, and his book, The Frontiers of Economics, Nobel Laureates of the 20th Century, has been acquired by many major libraries around the world. So please, would you make welcome our first guest speaker today, Professor Abu Wahid.